It's been a big year for the Boston Celtics superstar Jason Tatum. They obviously won the NBA championship. He went on to win the Olympic gold medal. However, he did receive some lighthearted Olympic mockery. He barely played in the Olympics. He missed out on the finals MVP, which I think he probably should have won, but it's not like a robbery or anything. With all that said, he's still one of the best players in the NBA today. And after what I think was a pretty disappointing Jordan Tatum 2, which feels like just released a few months ago, which kind of is a sign that Jordan Brand is admitting that it didn't go so well, we're gonna see his latest signature shoe. Jordan Tatum 3, welcome to the Garden. Now, the shoe is dropping on October 10th for $125 in the United States, and this colorway has kind of two meanings. So obviously Jason Tatum plays at TD Garden in Boston, but it also, according to Nike, is a nod to his personal garden where he spends a lot of time with his friends and family. Now, Concepts, which is a retail store based in Boston, they actually released a Welcome to the Garden pack that is slightly different than this colorway, just slightly tweaked a bit, and along that pack comes with a Jordan 1 low. And that's a very, very limited and I think pretty nice looking pack. This one is more of a general release and first impressions of the Jordan Tatum 3. I do like that they kind of went bold with the design. It's kind of retro, very 90s looking. I have complained a lot about a lot of Nike basketball shoes recently looking very similar, kind of looks boring and the same. And Ja signature shoes really comes to mind. So I appreciate them going for a more bold and old design. So I like that. But in terms of the colorway of the shoe, yeah, the flowers are just a little bit too much for me. I think there are some other colorways that look better, like the 10K hours. So even the colorway isn't my absolute favorite. I appreciate them going for a design that's not so obviously a replica or mimicking another version of a Kobe shoe. In the upper of the Tatum 3, there's a few different things going on. So on the toe box area, you get this ventilated mesh material. So that part doesn't come with as stiff or like less flexible materials. So just to give that area of your feet more flexibility when you're moving. And around it, you get this kind of canvas textile material. And I will say, probably not my preferred materials. And then on the lateral side of the shoe, you also get ripstop material. Now, according to Nike.com, the fluid lines on the upper represent his uninterrupted approach to the game and foundation of his family tree. And you also see a quote, "Find a way," and that caging on the medial side of the shoe. And on the eyelets, thin TPU plastic. It's also to help with containment as well. And then moving up the tongue, a very well ventilated mesh tongue. So the materials on this tongue is very soft. You get Jason Tatum's logo on the middle. And because it's not like a very stiff tongue, it doesn't like dig into your ankles when you play. So I really like that. And then on the inside of the tongue, you'll see Deuce, that is his son's name. And this shoe does not come with any extra set of laces, just black laces out of the box. This kind of aqua green would look pretty nice as well, but black laces probably would look the best out of all of them. So I probably would have just stuck with the black laces. Maybe white laces I think would actually make the shoe pop quite a bit, but black laces it is. And now moving on to the booty of the shoe, you see on pull tabs, it's mismatched. So overall, it's got the message, "Welcome to the Garden." On other colorways, it actually changes. So it's not always that message. There's some other kind of Tatum quotes and sayings on the pull tab. Usually I don't love pull tabs on shoes. However, as I get older, they are becoming more and more useful. And also on the booty, you get Jason Tatum's number. Now in terms of the cushioning, the Tatum 3s comes with Cushlon 3.0 foam. And just in case you were wondering, it is actually branded on the shoe as well. Cushlon 3.0, I really like. The Sabrina 2s was the first Nike basketball shoe to use Cushlon 3.0. Just struck a really good balance in terms of plushness as well as firmness of the cushioning. So I don't mind that at all. And the Tatum 3s also comes with Zoom Air in the forefoot area, and some people have speculated that it's actually a drop-in. It is not, it's just very cheap, horrible insoles. So as you can see, just honestly a garbage insole, not good at all. But overall responsiveness, I think it's decent. It is not the best. Would have definitely preferred Zoom Air on the heel as well, but that Cushlon 3.0, it is just one of my favorites. At this point of my life, where I'm not super young, where my knees can't really accept like very firm cushioning, that level of plushness and softness, but also still firm, that comes with Cushlon 3.0 is perfect. In terms of overall traction, kind of wavy. Some of it is in that semi-translucent pattern. Traction was decent. I don't think it's like superb or anything. After playing in shoes like the EQLZ 24/7, as well as Kobe 9s, of course, just really nice traction on those shoes. This one, if you're in a well-maintained gym, it is decent, but yeah, it's not like superb or elite. If you're in a dirty gym, expect to wipe your shoes quite a bit. Now the rubber on the translucent parts is not like the stiffest or most dense rubber, so I probably would stay away from outdoors just in terms of durability. And I'm someone that really prioritizes traction. That is probably my most important factor when looking at a basketball shoe. If there's any shoe that doesn't have really great traction, yeah, there's no way I'm playing in them. Now, just like the Tatum 2s, I don't think there is a midfoot shank, so the kinetic energy return wasn't as good as if you had like a carbon fiber shank in that shoe. So in terms of torsional rigidity, you're really relying on the rubber and the walls that extends all the way up onto the upper. Jordan 39s had no shank plate, so yeah, wouldn't be surprised if they stuck to their formula. In the box of the shoe, you see Jason Tatum's logo in the center. These wavy fluid lines mimics the upper of the Tatum 3s. The paper actually has like sketches and designs of the shoe. And then in terms of overall sizing, fit, and lockdown, I am a wide and flat footer. For Tatum 3s, I went true to size. It is too long. There is a bit of dead space and empty space at the tip of the toe box, kind of like the Tatum 2s, where it was pretty narrow and long. Could have gone down half a size lengthwise. Widthwise, as a wide and flat footer, I feel like it was pretty good widthwise. So kind of stuck in between no man's land. There's no perfect solution. But if you don't have wide and flat feet, you could go down half a size. If you do, if I had to choose, I'd probably go down half a size and just wear super thin socks. I don't know, loosen up the laces, deal with a very snug fit, because for a performance basketball shoe, I do prefer very snug and tight fits. And in terms of overall lateral containment, you see the rubber that extends from the outsole really comes up high, especially in that medial part of the shoe, and that provides pretty good lateral containment as well as lockdown. Now I will say I'm a very light player, so if you're a heavy player, that might not be the case for you, but I didn't really have any problems like side-to-side cuts or any movements like that. It's not like the lowest profile shoe, so you're not like really feeling and gripping the court. If you like the very low profile feeling, you might want to consider something else. But overall comfort, even like just as a casual shoe walking around, I think this is really decent. I will say this shoe feels pretty light, and that's one thing that Nike.com actually really emphasized regarding the materials that's used on the shoe. So if weight is a concern and a problem for you, you shouldn't have any problems with the Tatum 3s. And I feel like honestly, most basketball shoes in 2024, I don't really complain about weight problems. I grew up in a time where LeBron 4s were dropping, and those are like wearing a table on your feet. Now, usually for casual and retro shoes, I give it a sole score. For basketball shoes, I don't. The metrics don't really make sense for a sole score, but I do have a final verdict of the Jordan Tatum 3. Welcome to the Garden. I think it's a decently well-performing shoe at a pretty affordable price point as well. But I don't know. I don't feel like it makes a huge enough splash for a signature shoe to get me super excited for the Tatum 3s in general. Cushioning is good. I like Cushionline 3.0, but doesn't have any zoomed air, so lack of responsiveness in the heel area. And in terms of the traction, I think it's decent as well, but does attract quite a bit of dust, and that semi-translucent type of material doesn't perform that well in a not so well-maintained gym. Overall containment and lockdown, I think the sidewalls on the upper does a pretty good job. It is lacking a shank plate in the midfoot area, so I don't love that. So in terms of kinetic energy return, that aspect, it does feel a little bit more dull. It could be improved. So overall, this is a decent shoe. It is solid. I think it's better than the Tatum 2s. However, yeah, I think it's still a tier below really good. So that's it. Thanks for watching Sole Inclined. Let me know what you think of the Jordan Tatum 3 Welcome to the Garden. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.